Hello there and welcome to the new channel.
Here to help you see
The new you.
My name is Carmine Ortega.
Dennis Calamba.
This is Nato Agbayani.
My name is Juan Lu.
I'm Chino.
I'm Trisha.
This is Apple Manansada.
This is Attorney Carlo Ibanez.
This is Attorney Sheila Santiago.
This is Angie.
This is Argamit.
My name is Dante Salama.
This is Jesse Francis Rebustillo.
I'm Dania Cunha.
Mon Mendoza.
I am Mapet Erhina.
I'm Leo Bryan. Mike.
Nice one, dear.
Sir Al Ian Barcelona.
Marvin Salazar. This is Sunny Haldon.
Heidi Lumainos.
This is Ivan Jude.
Patrick Geronimo.
Alan Perez.
My name is Erwin Ursua.
My name is Bob.
My name is Lloyd Luna and this is
Future.
The Talk.
Family Business.
The Puppet Stories.
After Shift.
PNC Town Hall.
YOLO.
Marketplace.
The Home Buyer.
HR Hotline.
Danny Art Show.
Hotline.
Foreign Affairs.
COVID stories.
Awesome Day Show.
Thank you.
Money and More.
Cybernext.
Women at Work.
Win Within.
Port Project.
The Big Picture.
Sometimes life lets you down and you feel that you are done. You just want a morning run because the fun is all gone. But sometimes life makes you proud when you look far and wide, when you leave the pain behind and see the brighter side. TNC gives you inspiration. TNC reignites your passion. TNC starts your transformation. TNC helps you see the new you. Sometimes life makes you blind and you choose something bad. You just wanna cry and hide and save your face from the crowd. But sometimes life makes you see the beauty in you and me. When you look up above, there is God and there is love. TNC gives you inspiration. TNC reignites your passion. TNC starts your transformation. TNC helps you see the new. We're here to help you see the newness of life. We're here to help you feel your hope is so real. You got the power to see. We'll help you see the new you. TNC gives you inspiration. TNC reignites your passion. TNC starts your transformation. TNC helps you see the new you.
The new channel. The new channel. The views, opinions, and insights expressed in the following show are those of the hosts, producers, guests, and viewers. They do not necessarily reflect the position of the channel. Viewer discretion is advised.
Good afternoon. Welcome to the new channel. Here to help you see the new you. This is Jesse Francis Rebustillo, your host to this wonderful program, the HR Hotline. It's a wonderful day. The sun is up, and I was awakened by a call from Lazada. As early as 8 o'clock, I was already up to think that I slept at around 2:30 because I'm doing my slides for my webinar with PMAP next week on the essentials. Already have one, but I am enhancing and improving it because this time I'm going to do it online, virtual. And it needs 200% of engagement when they're doing an online class. Anyway, today's topic is very apt. Welcome, Josie Dorado. Welcome, Brian Batilier. And all my friends are already here. We're a little bit many already. It is March, and I remember with PMAP, the People Management Association of the Philippines, with PSTD, the Philippine Society, training and development before, now it's talent development. Then with ECOP, that's the Employers Confederation of the Philippines, we celebrate women on the third month of the year. And I remember when I was president, we even invited ladies to really talk, friends of mine. And I remember Lisa Makua, a lot of my friends, I invited them. Yes, we celebrate women. But usually our connotation is that women at work is actually in corporate workplaces. I would like to dedicate this episode to the women and the family. You can see I have a tear in my eye. One of which is my mom. My mom I am 64, she's 94, and she's still what they call a pasaway to my sister. You know why? She insists to do things. She paints a lot. But I would like to dedicate this to my sisters-in-law. To Cynthia Ching, who was taking care of my brother who has Alzheimer, and my sister-in-law Jocelyn, who after my brother died of aneurysm, she took care of the family. It is a tradition in the family that we don't let women work really in the corporate world. Ching used to be a teacher and Jo used to be a nurse. But we have that tradition. But I can always remember that my Lola is a teacher, my abuelita. And then my Lola is a catechist. And they are strong women. My aunts were also working. And all my nieces now, there is a doctor, there is an attorney, there is a businessman. They're all working. Now let's go back to my sister-in-law. It's just like Martha and Mary. Work is actually something that you have an input, just like productivity, and you have an output. Taking care of a family is a career. Being a housewife, I don't like to use that word. Neither a housewife, what's the other word? It means that you are kept there in the house doing things. No. Being a mom, being a mother, taking care of the family is a career. Much more if the head of the family, your husband, is sick. And it is work. And it is hard work. So with people at work, we have here Joe and Rosary. We have here Lay Last night, it was so fun. I was really laughing out loud. Then we have Armelito Garcia. You have a wonderful wife. You know, sometimes I can stalk and I see you singing, but your wife is actually at your back, putting on the pollutant and everything. So it's actually work. Much more if the person is actually working and doing also chores. How I admire now the COO of the Philippine Tourism Board, my dear friend, Attorney Antoinette Velasco Aliones. She is a wonderful career service executive. But there are times that you can see her as a stage mom to her daughter who is a ballet dancer. How I admire Lisa Makua. And I admire, who else that I can think of? Grace Bondad Nicolas. These are dear friends of mine, women who are actually in the front line and are successful, but they are also successful at home. So they have integrated work and life, and then they are actually contributing a lot to the family and to the society. So we celebrate women at work, but you can see the disparity. We can see that there is still discrimination. You know, when I go to Bikutan wet market, sometimes while buying things, scared of the virus with all the PPE, I say a little prayer to all the women sellers. You can see there, the old woman selling me plants, the woman selling me fish and the vegetable. And you can hear them that they woke up early to the bagsakan. And still, because I go there when there are less people near lunchtime, they're preparing the food for their husband. And of course, let us not forget, I am showing here my collection of Marian images. Mother Mary, she was a handmaiden. So she was a worker. Actually, she's a katulong, a handmaiden. She was fetching water. And I'm very sure while Jesus was growing up, she was working. Because Jesus grew up properly. So we are celebrating women at work, but also we must think of the disparity of the inequality. Of course, we are sometimes blessed here in the Philippines. Women actually grow up, they are empowered, and they have what we call careers. But you can see a lot are still less in confidence and the incivility that we do at work. Now, I invited a friend of mine, a dear, not only a friend, because I can claim that she was my mentee. She chose me as her mentor. I am a mentor in the PMAP Leadcom, but you know, before and up to now, I'm a little bit busy, so I only choose very few that I actually mentor. And she is. I remember the time that she would like to run for a position in PMAP, she sought my advice. And that time that she was deciding not to run for a position, a higher position, she sought my advice. And I can still remember we were talking at the railing, at the, what do you call that? What do you call that part? At the front of the Inquirer building. She's very much involved with her church. She is actually, with her husband Romel, very much engaged with the teen ministry. She has 3 boys, the International Church of Christ. She has that advocacy. I don't know if I influence her. Her advocacy is actually a personal advocacy to improve the human experience in workplaces, preserving the values, the Filipino values, especially of the family at work. She was the 2018 Vice President of the People Management Association of the Philippines and a fellow. And she's so nice. You know, there were times that we were in meetings that sometimes I'm already so passionate, but she has that control. I don't know if she even has that moment wherein she raises her voice. She is the first VP and the chief for HR and admin of Malayan Insurance Company Incorporated. Ladies and gentlemen, let us welcome Michele Guce, or we call her Mix.
Magandang hapon. Good afternoon, everyone. Hi, Jessie.
Yes, Mitch, I like your hair.
Salamat.
I love your plants at your back. Yes.
Yeah, maraming salamat. Pero let me just say na yes, confirm ko lang na mentor ko si Jessie. Hindi ko na masabi ko anong year yon, but I will never forget. We had that 2 very special sessions for me. One was when we ate pancit in your office at the Inquirer, and then you challenged me na Mitch, you have to go out of your comfort zone and start speaking up. No, you don't just train people within the office. Go out and host bigger programs. And I was shocked. I was scared that time, but you kept on pushing. So I really thank you for that. No, that's very very a critical point in my life that. That challenge, and from there I felt like okay, I just have to just have to respond to it, and then from then on dire-diretso na kung saan mo na ako sinalang.
It's mixed. Before we go on to some conversation, I recall San Benito. What is your relation to that? Is that your dad's, or is that you own that?
No, not related. On the Guce side, my husband is related to El Maestro Jesus Guce. He's the number 1 horse jockey in the Philippines. Retired na. On my maiden side, my dad is a farmer. And doon naman yung hindi San Benito, but we have our Geo farm. We had our Geo farm when he was alive.
Yeah, the farm. Because sometimes I read that in your Facebook post. Well, anyway, our topic is about celebrating women at work, working at home and working in the office, in workplaces. Can you share with us what are your initiatives at Malayan? I know you sent me some poster. Would you like to say it first, or would we ask the director to show the poster?
You can show them the poster so that our viewers will get to see.
Can we have the first poster? Direct Monica, can you have the first poster and tell us about this? Let's have a 2 minutes on this, Mitch. What is this all about?
So this is Women's Month. March is Women's Month. We're celebrating it, and Malayan is has a program for women. Basically, it's a support for the government's effort to create inclusivity, financial inclusivity. So by teaching people, creating awareness about financial programs, no, not just insurance, the banking, saving. So these are all in support for our government's effort because the Philippines is one of the countries that very low on insurance, no, insurance awareness. So we want to support the government in this case. And
Mitch, sorry for interrupting. So this is not
yes,
actually internal. This is actually external. You are actually
yes. This
yes.
is not just internal, but the thing is, when you work with, because it's an organizational strategy, it has to start from within. So the We Women program is actually now an internal and an external program, so that when we market, we can support it with internal campaigns that we actually do for our employees, and that's the first women's month, and we've been involving.
Can members of PMAP request you to roll this out in their organizations?
Definitely. Actually, just last night we had this partnership with the engagement committee, and we held a Choose to Challenge campaign involving not just women, actually, for anybody who would want to support um, programs that will help us improve, prejudice or gender equality, not just in the workplace. This is something that's more inclusive. And it can impact not just the workplace but all other women as well. So we had that with PMAP already, and of course, since we have started the Respectful Workplace campaign also in Malayan. We hope to influence other organizations to go into the same program, and this includes not just civility in the workplace, but really teaching people how to uncover your unconscious biases and then improve workplace relationships, help those who are bullied, diba? Those who are bashed, or those who are experiencing uh, uh, harshness or harassment in the office, so that employees, actually, it has a good effects in terms of relationships within the office, productivity as well, and opportunity for people to innovate when you create that kind of culture.
Mitch, we have another poster. I know that we have another poster. Can we show it to them? Or is it the same? What is this? This is all about.
Yes. So what we have been doing is internally we started a campaign where women post like this, and then that's when you make a promise or make a commitment on to what uh, say social inequalities or social issues you would like to stand against. So choose to challenge is really about standing against biases, norms, or uh, current issues that are happening worldwide. No, if you stand against something, that's when you choose to challenge it. And so women are encouraged to stand up, no, speak up. And so we strike that post it in Instagram, and then show what you're committed to stand against. So
Can we
what
have samples? I know you showed us some. Can we now show it? The one that I told you that we saw later, but I think we have to show it now.
yeah, there's samples because we
Yes.
asked our
Yeah, what are they?
yeah, this one is a post that says, "I stand for childcare for working parents."
What's the other one? Can we have that other? I
Ayan,
see.
stand for education for girls. This is global, no? Equal access to finance and technology for women. If you listen to yesterday's program, we did have issues where there are careers that are still male dominated.
What else? Do we still have some posters, Derek?
I think
The
we
one.
have those with photos, no? Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So all of this, so you have to post it in a social media. Wonderful.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
So this is an easy step. So can people just what do you call this, observe and also use this mode of intervention? Diba? While reinvent the wheel, wherein you have it already set. So they can call you how they're going to set that. Okay.
Yes. It's because we still have a week and before the Women's Month ends. So you can continue with the campaign to choose.
You know, Mix is a sweeping statement. You know, with PMAP, sometimes we really celebrate that there are just like you are the first BP, so that means that there is a career path for women. But you know, it is still a fact that a lot, I don't have the statistics here, but that a lot of women are still actually not given the chance in workplaces. So, what do you think should HR do to develop that culture of what you call respect and sometimes civility in the workplace? What are your thoughts on this, please?
Before the what we can do, let me just share what I learned yesterday from Anna Pabellon of Deloitte, because she shared some statistics, and she talks about leaky pipes in the career career path, no, for not just for for both men and women. So she shared that uh, 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 there is a stage in the career of women when um, most of the women just quit work or choose not to work anymore, and give the male counterparts the chance to continue with the family instead. So
Let me interject. Let me interject. Yeah, kasi naman, di ba, yung career mo up to around 40, di ba, even if you're married, di ba, you are really focused on it. But when you reach early 40s, di ba, nagme-menopause ang babae. And at the time, kung nanganak ka ng 30, the children are actually in school and they need a little bit of assistance. So sometimes you're really lost. You're really, it's the devil in the deep blue sea. Should it be career or family? So that is a correct annoyance. Statistics. Yeah, tama yan. So please continue.
Yeah, and for me that was it was really a good information that we got from Anna there, because she said that mostly, there's just 30s to 40s, tama ka doon eh. That's when women, fall out of their passion for their career and choose something else, no, instead of just maybe continuing both career and taking care of the home. And most of the time, the reason is because they choose to they are the ones expected to take care of the kids, no, or take care of the home. And then the other is that's a natural decision, because when it comes to spouses deciding, oh, who's going to quit, it's because the women has the lesser income, so she's the easy uh, you target to be, okay, you have less income, you quit the job, I have to stay in the job. So that happens for the male. So those are really good insights there from what I learned yesterday in the stats shared by Anna. So that's a reality. Now the thing is, what's the intervention? Before the intervention, the impact is, as she said, there are so many talented women out there who are not working, who are supposed to be making an impact in the industry, or doing some more, when it comes to maybe politics or other professions, but they're not there. Instead, they are at home. There's nothing wrong with being at home, but what we want to now campaign about is that maybe they can do both. Maybe they can do both. They can continue taking care of their kids and at the same time continue with what they're good at, or continue with making an impact outside of their homes and doing better, doing more in the community, or if they can work again in the industry. So that's something that we are trying to promote here. And in HR, now we talk about interventions. The key is, the thing is, it's not always about creating a policy, diba? Writing out a memo and cascading it. It takes culture. It takes strategy in the organization to actually, before you can implement something that's going to be effective and going to impact the whole organization and actually see good results, diba? So that's what's good about Malayan, because they started with a strategy. The strategy is we women, being inclusive, uh, helping other women to stand for themselves, to
Right,
choose for
right,
themselves. So those are,
right.
if it becomes a part of the strategy of the organization, the chances of it being effective is higher.
Right. You know, just today, there is in the social media a post that is actually being shared around. It's about culture. It's not even giving them gifts, it's not even recognizing it. It's actually treating them as humans. That is actually maybe the first thing to do.
Humanist.
The humanness is actually creating that culture that we really treat people as human. So,
That's true.
what? Of course, there are actually many incidents wherein there is actually disrespect or discrimination from generational or even sex, the LGBTQ, that is actually very sometimes the focus is too much. But you know that one of the treatment of women sometimes it is not actually looked into because it just happens that the shaming, the bullying, or the thing. So what can HR actually do? This is more of respect, I think.
Yes, that's true. That's true. I have to admit, Jesse, that before this one, before my experience in Malayan, I didn't really believe that we needed gender equality in the workplace, because as a woman, I felt like I'm given enough opportunity. I never felt discriminated. So maybe I was thinking that I was being I didn't see it as discrimination. But so I thought, oh, there are many women in the workplace. There are many career women. I saw that even in my mom. My mom is sort of the president of a school before she retired. So I felt like, okay, is this really gender equality when it comes to the workplace? But then, after being taught, after being educated, and after sitting down with other women, I saw that okay, oh, there are biases, there are discriminations, there is unequal opportunity somewhere there that's unspoken, that we are not aware of. So the key really is awareness. We start with awareness, and even for those who are bullying, for those who are said to be bashing, no, like yung sinasabi na single bashing, na oh, bakit wala ka pang asawa, yung mga ay ko, shucks, guilty rin ako doon. Kasi I wasn't aware na nakakasakit ka na pala ng iba, or may epekto pala yon, no, sa iba. So once we are made aware of these biases or prejudice that we have, your behavior follows. Medyo you hold your reins when you speak, diba? That's what happens. So I felt like that was a turning point for me as well, when I started learning more about respectful workplaces. I started understanding that, okay, I have biases, and I may have hurt a lot of people before without even thinking about it, no. And then last night I was sharing with one of my friends in HR na, okay, have you ever asked in an interview kung may boyfriend yung candidate mo? And I'm like, okay, I may have done that in the past, buti na lang hindi ko na ginagawa ngayon. But those things, sometimes you lived with, sometimes you were taught with, because you experienced that before and you think it was okay. So the choose to challenge is really more of teaching women, helping women be aware.
It's the mindset, it's the culture that we have. It's a culture that I just had a series of webinars for a construction firm. And I was doing some profiling. All the women engineers were actually in the QA and the QC. And then they were not actually in the project management. And so I had this ignoramus question. So why there are no women in the because it is in the site and it is hot. And one woman there was telling, I can also work at the site. And I asked them, if you look at it, Mitch, the career path in some organization, it is faster when you are in operations, wherein it's male-dominated. And those that one are actually as a story, and this is our assessment, are for females, and the movement is actually slow. So I think we really have this kind of awareness that gender should not be treated as something that someone is special. It has to be equal. Maybe naman kasi women sometimes, they would like to be treated also special, but that should not be. Now, how about civility? Diba, civility is etiquette, politeness, all the things that you do. I think it's also, there should be a culture that should be done also by HR, that all of this, it's not that we're also now discriminating the male or the yung lalaki, but civility should also be a program of HR to really make sure that there is equality of treatment in office.
I agree.
Okay.
And
now,
this is something. This is something that's also critical to take note, because now that we're doing this for women, baka yung mag-swing siya to the extreme na later on ang maging unequal naman treatment will be for males. So, but we have to be very conscious of that as well. That it's really equality, fairness. And then when you talk about civility, I guess the very core of it is just being kind, kindness, and we think that if people will first be aware of being kind to themselves. You have to be kind to yourself first, so that you can also be kind to others. So when you make mistakes, you have to be kind to yourself, so that when others make mistakes, you also can be kind and understanding of them. Okay. You don't bash on them, you don't curse on them.
We have a number of viewers. Can we ask them to post in the chat? It's a little bit negative, but it's nice to know if they have experiences of inequality as a woman. And if you're a male viewer, can you tell us wherein there was a time wherein you see what you call this a discrimination on women? But what I would like to ask you to post is, how was it solved? Were there's anything that you did so that that situation was actually parang there was the response for that inequality? So can we ask Josie, then here, Armelito here as a post, Sana, yes, engineer, I will ask you to be a guest of mine, and let's talk about construction of homes and design. We'll have to make it also for HR. Yung parang we'll ask HR, what are their ideas on workplaces, design, di ba? Di ba yung mga ngayon pa naman naglalagay ng mga plastic, yung mga physical design. Yes, Amelito. For all those who are watching, including Ma'am Cholita Esplana, can you post in the chat box situations wherein there was what you call parang inequality, or you can see discrimination of women. But we would like to, Mitch and I would like to know, how was it what was the response? We still have, it's 12:40. Mitch will have a break, and after the break we continue. This time we're going to discuss yung not only the how yung career path, then yung confidence, and then the empowerment of women at work. Okay, so and we have a break, and then we go back to meet later on. And then I'll wait for your posts sa mga viewers. Okay. They reckon we have that poster wherein we have to invite people to watch the shows at the new channel. Ladies and gentlemen, visit the page of the new channel or log on to TNC so that you can watch shows from U-Turn on Mondays to the Talk, to the Awesome Day, the Home Buyer, the Puppet Story, the Big Picture, which is Monday through Friday at 7:15 p.m. And then the Millennial Voice, it's actually on Mondays. Then we have the Foreign Affairs, my show. Then we have Well Home, Mental Shift, Money More, Cybernet, Healthcare, Win Within, Market Idea, Law, YOLO, Negosyo, Tech You, After Shift, COVID Stories, Town Hall, and one day wonderful shows at the new channel. And it's nice, you can use your gadget. You know, while I'm gardening, I can still watch senior shows because I can watch it in my gadget, either in FB or in YouTube. So, Derek, can we go back to Mitch? Okay. I'm still waiting for comments from our viewers, but Mitch, let's continue. I think the first thing that HR should do is really look into their qualification standards. Because it might be when you post advertisements or when you have your job description, the qualification standards actually is the one that is discriminatory, wherein you say female only. That's one. Or you say that there are some competencies wherein if you read between the lines, women cannot actually do it. Diba ganun siguro? So even age and then the gender should not be mentioned anymore. Diba? So that is where we start. That is where we start. Now, paano mag-umpisa doon sa empowerment? Ang ganda-ganda pakinggan eh. You empower people, you empower everybody, but how will you make sure that even the women are empowered?
When you talk about empowerment, what's powerful about it is when you start with inclusion. You empower someone, if you made them part of your endeavors, that's you already empowered because you involve them, you engage them. So the start is we start with the mindset of inclusion. That's really it. And when you talk about inclusion, you that means you do not look at gender, you do not look at age, you do not look at their educational background, you do not look at their past, even their what bad past, good past they have, but you can be objectively just assessing skills, what they can bring, or the attitude they have, diba? And then you train for the skills. So just by opening yourself up to accepting people for whoever they are, then you are already empowering them. And that's what I felt. That's what I felt. Oh yeah, that's how you treated me. I was a young HR professional then. Remember that? Na hindi naman ako kilala sa PMAP, di ba? Ano lang ako, sabit-sabit lang ako sa mga programs. And yet, I was included. I was made part of a team. And from there, I was actually empowered. Same experience. So, same experience we could share with others.
But the mindset kasi, Mitch, is that women, usually when you give birth, you take a leave. And then sometimes you are so emotional and then you cry, you cannot really take, yung balat sibuyas. And that is actually bias. Diba? That is a bias. So siguro, one is actually trying to break those biases. That and maybe it's not the other way around it should be the other way around. We should also be telling women to really be strong, to really have confidence. And I think that should be the program wherein para bang we have to break the Maria Clara and have to I just read it. We have to change that Maria Clara mindset but rather have the Urduha mindset for Filipino women.
Ayan, Filipinang
Parang expectations na when you are going to be included, where you get to be, say parang, I'm just thinking now, why is it that in basketball teams, seldom you have women being invited to join? To think that there are some good women that are very good shooters.
Wow.
The mindset is that if a woman is actually, because it is a physical close contact game,
contact sports, yeah.
Let's call it. When you are hurt, the woman will cry. Maybe that is the connotation. So I think it's the other way around, that we have also to really give women that confidence, that change in mindset, that if you are really you should be ready for the world. You should be ready. I remember with my nieces, I have quality time with my nieces, with Kat, Jamil, who's now in the States, with Haya. So I am the uncle, and both of my brothers are already gone. So I am really forcing myself to be a substantial uncle. And these are women. There are only things that I tell them. Be strong. Up to now, with all the banters that we have, my last one is actually be strong. My point is here's what I'm telling you, is actually changing the mindset of the woman, that if you want to be a doctor, if you want to be a lawyer, if you want to, you married an American and you want to be in the States, you have to be ready. You have to be strong.
You have to be tougher. Parang women are taught not to be tough, diba? But more, we're very soft. We cry a lot, but actually that's where we draw our strength. So when women face challenges, we stand. We can contain pain more, and sustain our energies longer, in fact, at some points, because we can cry, we can be emotional.
Mitch, there is a post here from Jennifer Nuya. Can we spot on Jennifer? Our emotionality as women allows us to understand and communicate on a personal level. We are also possess empathy, which is considered a 21st century leadership. Yeah, we have to really, that is something that has to be what do you call it? Bala yun ng mga women. Who runs the world, girls? As Beyonce's song goes. We agree, and that is the essence of the woman, diba? You actually carry everybody in your womb for 9 months, and you're the one actually nurturing, diba? Everybody you take care, and then of course from Obet, here is our dear Pipi. Good afternoon. Be safe and happy. And of course, my best friend Femery. On the contrary, women are the source of emotional strength for people in and out of the workplace. Yes. So that is yes. Actually, Femery here is very spot on. It's correct. And then we must bank on it, and that should be the foundation. But Femery and Meets. So that is it. Nakuha ni Femery that it's the emotional. That should be where programs on HR should start. Because that is actually the quality that women has. The empathy, the emotional stability, diba? Then, siguro, women should be taught and women should be aware na they can bank on it. That is their foundation. You know what I'm thinking is not only your women at Malayan or the women in the L&D of Femery. These are the women in the rice fields, the women in the wet market, diba? The women in I used to have seminars down there in the south, yung dun sa mga factories wherein they are standing, do you know that, Mitch? These are ladies standing
the whole time?
8 hours because they're actually doing what you call that, the semicon industry, diba? And then siguro, what HR can do is really, Femery, gumawa ka nga ng program niya at ako magturo. Ituro natin sa
designer talaga si Femery, diba? Tama yun, tama yun.
na mag-come up, siguro, can you do that, Mitch? Come up with a program wherein we bank on your emotionals, yung strength ng women, and then make women aware of it and share it to the world. Diba? Sabi ni Josie, women must learn to adapt out of the culture box. And you must know it. Hindi natapos. So yun. And I think that is what you're doing in Malayan.
Yes, definitely. That's what we're doing, and we're not just going to do it in Malayan, but we are going to spread that, and teach other organizations to do the same. So we have partnered with IFC and the Women's Month team, who are sharing and teaching all about respectful workplaces.
The reason why I went back to that, what you're doing in Malayan, why siguro ma-input natin, Mitch, yung sinabi ni Femery, na anong sinabi niya that it's actually yung emotional, Can we go back to what Femery, on the contrary, women are the source of emotional strength.
Yeah, tama.
Emotional strength. And I think we share that to team up also. And then we can come up with programs on that. Kasi may oras, just like you and all the rest of the women here, you are not just aware that you have that strength. Diba? Now, I know you.
It's a design. I think it's a God-given design for women to be that, strength, because we're made to take care of, have children, parang have more, and talagang maraming anak yan, diba? Yung original design.
I am a Marian devotee, and I have here this image wherein it tells us of the 7 sorrows. It's an image wherein there's a heart and there are 7 daggers. Just imagine the 7 sorrows of Mother Mary. Diba? Now, what's very, very strong woman to see your son die. Diba? I tell you the 7 sorrows to see. So, parang siguro we start with that. Yung, parang a man can, and then that one of Susmita Sen, that the essence of the woman. Siguro we can start with that and make it that as a mantra for everybody to be aware of, and we teach that to your insurance agents, the women insurance agents, the people in the field. I can still remember my cousins. I have first cousins who are actually farmers. Akala mo that is why
farmers.
And these are really planting rice is never fun, Mitch. Yeah. When I go home to Bicol,
rice.
when I go to Bicol and I try to visit them in Pulangi, my cousin is already dead, but the children are still there. They're really enjoying life, and when I tell them that, of course, they are owned by my car, and then what I do here, when I was working with Inquirer, I was in an air-conditioned room. But when I ask the meets, they're really happy working in the field. And there are women. Women talaga mga babae yan, talagang mga babae, and they're so healthy and they're happy. And then ang iba niyan talagang tapos. Nagtapos siya, nag-aral. But of course, nobody's so I'm thinking about that. It's just the awareness that we can get the emotional strength from women.
That's true. And I think as I mentioned, it's a design. We are designed to have bigger hearts, stretchable hearts, so that we can love and take care of more people. No? And in the workplace, if we are to take that opportunity of having those women to work for us, use their talents, and take care of more people, not just technical work, but also yung relationships, take care of relationships. Women can really do a lot. No, women can influence more and more people, do things differently. No. But first, and again, this is not just for women. Right? It's just that we're emphasizing that now because there's still that perceived inequality in the workplace. But the inclusivity, the message is really inclusivity. and it applies to both men and women. If we are more inclusive, if we are aware that we have biases. Again, when you talk about inclusivity and bias, you may be aware of your bias and control your bias, but you still are not inclusive. So the bigger challenge is really inclusivity. For you to see other people as even people that you see as different from you. If you see them as like a piece of a puzzle that completes you, then you will be more accepting of other people, no matter how different they are from you, no matter how um, uh, different your views are, even if you clash, but you're accepting them because you know that there's a reason for that person for you to meet that person and work with him, diba? So and so if inclusivity can be a program in all organizations, we'll have more respectful workplaces. We'll have more we'll have workplaces which are kind, and considerate of each other, whether it's boss to subordinates or the subordinates to their boss, di ba? Kasi pwede rin namang yung team yung hindi kind sa boss nila, di ba? And then it goes both ways all the time. And so first, for this one, what's important is that what we educate ourselves. We have to be always open to learn about our own unconscious biases. We get to be
Yeah.
aware of those things, and then we stop making assumptions. No, o pag babae siya, hindi yan pwedeng umuwi ng gabi, or pag nag-hire ka ng babae, mabubuntis yan. So parang iniisip mo agad mag-leave yan. 'Di ba? Lalo na ngayon, haba ng leaves, 'di ba? So you don't make assumptions na, okay, that person is a prom D, 'di ba? May biases din sa mga probinsyano. So ako prom D ako. So instead of making assumptions na baka yung English niya hindi masyado maganda, 'di ba? We stop making assumptions and just accept people for who they are, know their strengths, and know how they can contribute to the organization, and that's what you maximize, no? Because the
Right.
contributions of people are even bigger and better when you utilize the strengths rather than focus on their weaknesses, di ba? So and then if we do that, we have to be ready to be uncomfortable because sometimes being accepting other people means sometimes it goes against your what you have been trained for, or what you have been uh, you know educated on, 'di ba? Parang hindi yan yung natutunan ko eh, 'di ba? Parang ganun. But then be ready to be uncomfortable as well, and then take responsibility that in the workplace, or not just in the workplace, if in the family, di ba? Especially us na extended families tayo, we have family members who probably are, I know, feeling bullied by your own
Yeah.
cousins, mga ganyan. So just because they did complete their education, or they're still single, or they're member of the LGBTQ, di ba? So those things happen all around us. But if we are more inclusive, then the environment will be more respectful. You bring that to the workplace, you'll have respectful workplaces.
I am listening to you. So, Femery here is suggesting that we have to come up with a program, right? So, I think the intervention is for all HR to come up with learning sessions, mentoring programs, coaching programs, counseling programs, or just a poster on the wall, or just FGDs, or just influencing them in meetings, that there is a script. I think, but there should be a real script. There should be what we call a communication plan for this.
That's
Am I
true.
right, Fitz?
And
Because
you mentioned FGDs, Jessie. Sorry to cut in, but baka makalimutan ko lang. You mentioned FGDs. Remember that prejudice is experienced, but ngayon, no, mostly ngayon, by those who have been COVID positive. Diba? They are the ones experiencing that pain. And last year in Malayan, instead of instead of just controlling safety, we actually had that FGD with those who had, who were positive of COVID, no, and had that discussion with them and made Malayan a safe place. And when we had that discussion, it was really heart moving. After we got to know na, sa ano pala, sa kapitbahay pala nila, meron ng binabato yung bahay nila because they're COVID positive there. They were discriminated in their workplaces. Sorry, not in the work, in their neighborhoods, diba? When they felt they were isolated, and it was really a hard experience for those who have been infected by COVID. And so all the more, it's very important in the workplace that we are kind, we are respectful, and we are aware that we can be prejudiced against these people, and it hurts them all the more. So instead of them healing faster, yung emotions nila very much affected palalo, but it takes a while before they can heal. So what's really important is we work together to support our friends, diba? Yeah. And in Malayan, isa yun sa mga naging major projects last year, and the things that we are happy about kasi ang naging comment ng mga nag-positive is, Malayan is a safe place. Dito, okay lang kami na malaman ng iba na, okay, naging COVID positive ako. I was even asked for my input so that we can prevent others from having the same experience. So ganun siya.
Right. So, pero when I'm listening to you, Mitch, but the one that should be trained here are the leaders, are the supervisors, how they are going to actually roll on the program for women equality, for women empowerment, roll on the program for accepting or taking care of people's safety due to COVID. So, siguro it will be, and what I'm thinking now is just first is an awareness program of a session, then later on a FGDs and training the trainers program for those who are actually dealing with people. So, continuous dapat ang interventions. Kasi this is actually culture building. Culture building. Because it's easier said than done. You can always claim that there is women equality here. In PIMA, we always claim that. But it's also the fact that a lot of women are not legally given the opportunity to be recognized. So I think it's actually on a concrete program of what HR should do. And what I'm thinking, it's not actually the multinational or businesses as big as your organization, the small, the medium, and the small, wherein sometimes, di ba, yung parang women are not really treated, parang kayo mo lang maiwan, o yung kahit sa pagkain, mauuna. Alam mo yung unang nakikita ko, we still have time. Yung unang nakikita ko, even in that, what do you call that? In the car, in the vehicles, yung pag-uwi, yung mga sitting arrangements, nakikita talaga dyan. So it's actually might be an awareness of how we are going to treat people, the humanness of
humanness. Totoo yan. And why this is critical? Kasi we can actually be the model in Asia. Kasi we're already there when it comes to gender equality. High na tayo eh. Then we can do it, move it even further, do better, because we are great models in Asia. So for Malayan, actually in 2019, our team, our underwriting team, was recognized by Tokyo Marine, and that's Asia, and actually global, because of the gender equality program that they have done for Malayan. So ibig sabihin, if all organizations in the Philippines, di ba, we can do this, then we can be recognized in Asia, or maybe globally for such, no? So, magiging strength natin.
Before we ask you to give your parting message, let me share this first. One is from Obet. Can we spot on PP Obet? PP Obet says here, women, warm-hearted, optimistic, motivator, exemplary, novel. Diba? Yan ang gusto ko. Kay PP
Yan
Obet.
talaga naman si PPO.
Your parting message. Let me share this with everybody. You know, I used to work with Inquirer, and our chairwoman or chairperson was actually Marixie Prieto at the time, and she was really the yung emotional strength. Then I used to work with Ma'am Sandy, and she was the president. And you know how I appreciated her. The time that she was actually going into that menopausal stage, and there was a time that she was a little bit sleepy, and then you know, she was so sincere in telling us, "Oh, pardon, can you just wake me up, Jessie, when I feel a little bit lost?" So I think it is just the awareness. It is just the awareness. And you know, I can also remember some of my office mates before who have nasayang kasi they were so good and they give up their careers. So yun nga. So wonderful discussion, meets. So can we have your parting message because we are already over time?
Yeah, this will be very quick. I'd like to call a challenge to all of the HR leaders there, executives, practitioners, and the audience as well, the people managers, to embrace inclusion, embrace people, embrace humanness, because it's when we can overcome biases, we can overcome prejudices, and give equal opportunities to our people in the organization. These equal opportunities will help people become more productive, give them more opportunity to be more innovative, and then of course it strikes your bottom line. It helps you in the strategies of your organization. We start with each other, we start with inclusion, and we can multiply, even outside of the organization.
Thank you, Mitch. Thank you, my dear friend. And I'm very sure
Thank you, mentor.
you are a empowered woman, and I'm very sure you will still be going up in your career path. Yeah. Okay. Let us also do my piece. You know, I would like to dedicate this episode, as we celebrate women at work, to my mom, to my sisters-in-law, Ching, who has taken care of my brother who was sick, bedridden for 5 years. You should have been teaching. You're a very good teacher, but you opted to take care of my brother, and that is actually work as the nurse and then the wife of my brother, and my sister-in-law, Jo, who after my brother died, took care of the family. And then, of course, my sister, who has just recently retired, and she's coming up with a hotel, as she's a working woman. I would like to dedicate this to the people that I admire. Attorney Aliones, how I know that I stuck on you. You are what do you call that? A stage mother to your daughter is playing by Fe Marie Cabantac. Fe Marie is a friend to Alexine. Then we have Lisa Macua. Then we have Tita Puangco. The Graces in my life. Grace Siralios, Grace Decena, Grace Abeliazata, Grace Sorongon. They are all women of substance, but they are also great moms. And then we have Rosario, Bradbury. And then, of course, Grace Bondad, as I mentioned earlier, the one in Pops, Cherise, the one in Pima, Malu. These are wonderful women, working women. What is successful is that they are happy. I think when we celebrate Women's Month and Women's Day, if you are a male or the significant others, the assessment, if your lady, if your woman is really empowered and has reached her fulfillment, is that she is happy. She is happy. I am very sure Mother Mary is so proud. Even watching her son die, she was so comforted that it should happen. I am very sure that all the mothers here, little wins, little successes of your husband and your children, you are happy. And that is actually when we celebrate Women's Day, we make sure that the person that carried us to prepare us to this world is actually contented, comfortable, and happy. There goes, ladies and gentlemen. Let's have this. The global women who rule in 2021. Our dear boss, Ana Mansala, is one of the speakers. The global women who rule 2021. Diba? And it is. And it is. And it is. We have to celebrate them because they are our moms, our wife, our sister, and our children. And we have to celebrate it. We have to be equal with them. And what, as I have said, the assessment is that we made them happy. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. This is Jesse Francis Rebustillo. Just mabalos po.